Now, creating your world when you're in a great mood and you're feeling strong and happy and everything else like that, it's already tough enough to create your own world, right? You've got enough obstacles that you got to deal with. But boy, if your emotions take a hit, you kind of go down, your mood is bad, it's pretty much impossible to create the world that you want. Now, what if I told you that you can create for yourself a portable charger, right? Where you can sit there and when you start heading down, you can kick it right back up to the levels where you're going to be able to do the things that you want to create your own world, right? Would you be interested in something like that? Kind of like one of these, right? A little power brick, a portable charger that as soon as when you start feeling yourself going down, boom, plug it in, you're all set to go, and you're suddenly creating the world that you want. Well, if you're interested to find out about that, stick around. I'm Michael Kowal, and welcome to my world. Okay, so true confession for everybody, right? How many times has one of these saved your life, right? A portable charger, a brick, right? Well, they haven't actually saved our lives. They saved our phones' lives, which, well, maybe you could equate that to saving your own life, right? But it's like when the phone is on its last breath. It's at 3% power and kind of slowly spiraling down into the darkness of doom. Yeah, that's our heads. Well, at least my head a lot of the times. When I get focused on, bad thoughts, crap thoughts, stupid things that I have no idea or no reason to focus on, I focus on them and I get dragged down into the darkness. So, wouldn't it be great if we had kind of like this personal portable charger for our own head, right? For all the emotions, to keep our mood up, to kind of remind us, kind of point it towards the light, if you really want to call it what it is, instead of dropping down into the darkness. And you can create one just for yourself, as I have created one for me. Now, here is mine. Kind of anticlimactic, right? It's a folder full of papers. Now, this is full of papers because I'm a writer, right? And a storyteller. I like writing things out on paper and to remind myself. Now, basically what these are all of the things that I've kept over time, but really most recently, because this changes, it's kind of like the things that I use to remind myself of who I want to be, who I think I already am. It's the quotes, right? The inspirational quotes, the inspirational ideas, all of those things that make me feel better. It's like the piece of advice that your grandma gave you years ago or something like that, or something you read about just yesterday. And what ends up happening with those, right? We sit there and, of course, for about 2.5 seconds or 2.5 days, or maybe if we're lucky, a couple of weeks, we'll remember that particular piece of advice or that quote or that thing that inspires us. And we'll use it to help create the world that we want, create our life the way we want. But then what happens over time, right? We start, life happens. You start getting off on other things come up, other ideas, right? And you forget about that one until sometime in a year later, 3 years later, 200 years later, and you go, oh God, I forgot about that, right? Well, you don't have to. Because if you hold them all in one place, it's like you're creating a battery for yourself, a battery for your soul. Now, the kind of amazing thing about this is unlike cat videos and puppy videos out on the internet, right? And you can't watch one of those things and feel bad at the end of it, right? I mean, my wife watches these all the time. They're great because at the end of it, she says, I feel so great. They're fantastic. But the thing is, what this is, have you ever heard about this medicine, right? That maybe they've done it already, or they're trying to do, which is medicine that is kind of like geared specifically to whatever problems you may have, right? It's like targeted to your DNA. Well, that's what these are. Because in picking every single one of these things out and in keeping them in one place, it's like you're targeting it to the DNA of your soul. These things speak to you, right? They spoke to you the first time you read it or heard it or whatever. They spoke to you when you sit there and you say, this is who I want to be. This is what I want to create in my life. This is how I want to create my world. They speak to you. They're to your DNA of your soul. Now, the thing is that by keeping them all in one place, what can you do? You can look at them every day. or when you start going down, right? Now, like I say, I'm a writer, storyteller, whatever. I like writing things down. You can do it any way you want. You can sit there and you've got your phone app, right? Or your note app in your phone. You can write it all down in there. You can pull that thing out anytime you start feeling down a little bit, right? You can pull that out, put it on your computer. You can put it in a journal. I don't care. Write it on your hands. So you got it available to you. Because the deal is, you're going to forget this stuff. But when you remember to have this all in one place, and okay, here's how I started this whole thing. I started it because I knew that in a way my life depended on me focusing on good stuff, right? Those things that I want to create, the way I want to create my life. Because otherwise, what am I going to focus on? I will a lot of times focus on those bad thoughts, right? And they're going to take me down. But when I start looking this, what I did was every morning I would sit there and I would pull out this whole packet, right? And I would take it out and make myself some coffee or cappuccino or whatever, sit at the kitchen table and just go over it. And I'll tell you, I guarantee you, when I was done with that, and you read each one as if you can feel what's going on, right? That initial time where this quote just meant something to you, or this thing that you're inspired that you want to create this in your life. And every time you read each one of those and feel that particular end point, you can't help but feel great by the end of it. Now imagine doing this for 30 days straight, for 60 days, for a couple of months, right? What's going to end up happening? It's like you're taking and charging your battery back up to a level where not much is going to drop you down, right? You're not going to be dropping down into the bad levels of going into things. And now, we're always going to focus on that. We're always going to have bad days, bad times, or bad events. But the deal is, if you've already started with your kind of emotional level charged up to this right here, when you take that hit, it's going to be less of an issue. And the other thing is obviously when you get into a really bad place, you can use this in the emergency situation and read it, right? And get yourself to kind of come back up. And that's exactly what happened with me this week, because that's why I'm making this thing, because it reminded me, right? And what ended up happening is that 2 days ago, I think I woke up and for whatever reason, I just had crap thoughts in my head. I was thinking of bad things or whatever, I'm a jackass, whatever it happens to be, you can fill in your own blank of what it may be for you. And I got going and I sat there for meditation. I did my meditation and that really didn't do much for me. But then I remembered the day before my meditation, I got some great insights about stuff. And so I wrote out a bunch of notes there. And that note isn't in here, but it's going to be in here soon, let me tell you. And I went and I reread that. And all of a sudden, that mood that I was heading down into disappeared. I was able to kick myself back up and focus on what it is that I wanted. We don't have to focus on the darkness, right? We don't have to focus on those thoughts, or we can certainly bring ourselves back up to do it. And that's the choice that you get to make. That's what these personal portable chargers do for us. And one of the best things I got in here is this one in the front, right? It's my gratitude list. And I've used this. I did a video on this. Actually, I'll link to it up above here. By looking at that every morning, it helped me to focus on the gratitude that I had for all the abundance that I had in my life. And what did I end up doing? I created more abundance in my life by focusing on this. And that was a central part of my morning, was looking at this packet of stuff, right? But it wasn't until like yesterday, like I say 2 days ago, when I saw this and I go, oh my God, it's like a battery charger. It's like a portable charger where I can sit there and anytime I'm feeling down, pull this thing out, just like the meditation notes. Like I say, just like the meditation notes will go in here, and I can sit there and kick my level back up, my mood. Because what's happening? What are you doing when we focus on this kind of stuff? What happens when we got inspired to write those things down to begin with, or to sit there and say, oh, I've got to remember this particular thing? We're focusing on the light is essentially what it is. We're focusing on the things that make us feel lighter, make us feel powerful, remind us of who we really are. And you get to carry that around with you every day. You can sit there and use it every day. So it's up to you to create your own little packet on your phone, on your hand, on your wrist, write it in the sky. I don't care. But if you keep that thing around where you can have access to it each day, if you do it every morning, you're going to be so much better off. But when you start going down, you pull this thing out to remind yourself, I don't need to focus on those bad thoughts. I can focus on the light. And I guarantee you, your life will be a lot better. So create your own little personal charger for yourself, and you're going to be better off. So hope you like this. Hit like, subscribe if you want, but also share this. If you see somebody or you know somebody who this might benefit, let them know. Pass it along to them. And maybe they might end up starting their own little personal packet, right? But you do it this week. Try it. Or at least if nothing else, write down one thing and you sit there and focus on it every morning for the whole week and see how you feel at the end. Just try it. And you're going to make yourself your own little personal portable charger. And you're going to feel a lot better. Love you.